And we are back to react to one of my favorite YouTubers. Let's go. We know what's up. We know what's up. Let's just
It
get
really
right
has
into
been
it.
a rough couple of years for the MCU, with an unpleasant combination
Yeah.
of a multiverse story arc that never really got off the ground, disgraced stars that forced major course changes, box office flops, disappointing underperformers, and occasional
Yeah.
isolated successes that were impossible to capitalize on. It's a franchise that's been drifting directionless ever since Endgame, with no clear narrative.
Yeah, and it's like I forgot what I was going to say. You know that thing they did yesterday with the live stream? It's like that could have been an email. I mean, I understand why they did it. Made sense, but they got lots of views for it, but it was still dumb.
Drive and nothing in
Still dumb.
particular to get excited about. And from the looks of things so far, 2025 isn't shaping up much better. What they really need
not
is a
great.
good old Avengers movie. Something to reunite the scattered characters and wandering storylines of the MCU into one big blowout finale so that they can move forward into a bold new era of storytelling. And the thing
Yay!
in question is Avengers Doomsday, scheduled to release in May of next year. Well, actually, it's the first part of that thing. The second part is going to be Avengers Secret Wars in 2027, which, if the rumours are true, will basically act as the endgame to Doomsday's Infinity War, capping off the
Yeah.
current era of Marvel movies and probably feeding into a soft reboot of the entire franchise. And not before.
Let me guess. Let me guess what they're gonna do. Doctor Doom is gonna become God Emperor, and they're gonna recreate a new world, right? Like, they're gonna smash a whole bunch of worlds together, and they're gonna create a brand new world. So it won't be the same universe that we started in. Everyone's gonna be somehow ported over into a new universe that is different, and it sort of hopefully they kill off a lot of the useless characters. Okay, we have too many characters. We got to kill a bunch of them off. Just kill off a bunch of characters and start out with a couple really good ones. We got to kill
For
off
time
most of the characters.
either. Now, because it's been quite a while since anyone got excited for anything MCU related, it was vital
Yeah.
that Marvel did everything they could to build up the anticipation for this one. So what did they do, you might ask? Did they release some kick-ass teaser trailer to get the audience pumped up? Did they give tantalizing
Yeah.
hints about the exciting new direction they'll take with the story? Maybe even some interviews with the cast and director?
Wrong.
Nah, they just dropped a 5-hour live stream with a bunch of names on the backs of chairs. I mean, fuck me, it's different, I guess. And to be fair, there's a pretty extensive list of names attached to this one. Sure, a lot
Yeah.
of them are fucking nobodies from obscure movies that most of us can barely even remember. Seriously, you need to stop trying to make Yelena happen. She's not going to happen. Neither is Shuri as discount Black Panther for that matter. However, there
Although to be fair, I love Yelena Belova. She's one of my favorite characters, and so I haven't even watched any of her stuff, but I'll watch clips of her on YouTube because she's such a fun, likable character. So we'll see how Thunderbolts. We'll see if Thunderbolts actually wins me over, but that character I actually like. So there's that.
There are some big names in there too. Once again proving that every man has his price, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back after being away for more than half a decade, this time playing
Yeah.
Victor Von Doom, which I'm sure totally isn't a cheap way of backdooring Tony Stark into the franchise again. If I was a cynical man, I'd say that old Robert here might have been missing those big Marvel paychecks lately, because his post-Endgame career hasn't exactly been jam-packed with box office smashes. The thing is, as awesome as he was back in the day, he's almost 60 years old now, and he kinda looks it, and I'm not really sure I want to see a stringy, washed out, aging, veganized actor like him half-heartedly going through the motions for an easy payday. It's a bit like dragging your dad along to a Comic-Con dressed as
Yeah.
some anime character he's never heard of, and forcing him to pose for pictures with people a third of his age. I'm actually
Yeah, so basically, Robert Downey Jr. has to deliver an S tier performance in order for it to be worth it. Like, if it's mediocre, we're screwed. But the whole thing is screwed. Like, it has to be an Oscar-worthy performance similar to what he did in Oppenheimer. I don't know if you guys saw Oppenheimer, but he was Oscar-worthy. He was amazing. Did he win an Oscar for that? I don't care. Very, very good. And so, like, he has to be at that caliber. If we get anything less than that, or anything mediocre, like, this is all gonna go, like, really badly. He has to be good.
Kind of surprised to see Chris Hemsworth coming back, though, when he seemed to be pretty much done with Marvel after the disaster of Love and Thunder. I wonder what they've got in mind for him this time. Can't wait to see Thor go on another journey of self-discovery to find his true purpose in life for like the 5th time in the past decades. Pedro Pascal's also making an appearance in this movie, naturally, because he's in literally everything. In fact, I'm not entirely convinced he isn't in this room with me right now. Oh wait, that's just Tatiana. Shut up! I'll feed you when I'm goddamn good and ready! No sign of Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, though.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
I mean, I know she's been overshadowed by people like Rachel Zegler in recent years, who did what she did, only bigger and faster and more retarded. But you know what? Brie did it before it was cool. She walked so that Rachel could fly, and I think she deserves...
Yeah. And, please notice that the people from the Marvels, not mentioned. Kelsey Grammer, who is in the end credits scene of the Marvels, was mentioned and is on the list, but the, I don't even know her name. The black chick that he interacted with at the end, not in it, not mentioned. Smart, right? We got the worst movie Marvel put out, one of the worst ones. None of the characters from there are in it, right? So that, and no She-Hulk. That makes sense to me, right? Like, bring in some of the old X-Men and take some of the better characters. Better as in, cross your fingers and hope Thunderbolts works out, and cross your fingers and hope Fantastic Four is good. And then we'll have a solid list of characters that we actually like. And the Russo brothers actually made Anthony Mackie's Falcon, like, cool. Like, he was cool in Winter Soldier, he was cool in Civil War, he was cool in Infinity War. If anyone can make him as the new Captain America cool, it's the Russo brothers. And so, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt with Anthony Mackie's Captain America, and say that maybe... if anyone is going to make him cool and make me like him, it's them. So, maybe it'll work out.
Closure, damn it. But the biggest surprise, if you can even call it that, was the contingent of old X-Men actors making an appearance in this film. And fuck me, I really do mean old. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, who are both well into their 80s now, are reprising their roles as Xavier and Magneto. So are Alan Cumming, Rebecca Romijn, and James Marsden. I wonder if Rebecca's gonna have the balls to get into that blue bodysuit again. And you can bet your left arse cheek that Hugh Jackman won't pass up an opportunity to play Wolverine again, even if he hasn't been officially announced yet. The thing is, haven't we done the whole bring back the X-Men actors for nostalgia bait routine like several times already? I mean, I like those actors as much as the next guy, and it feels like there's a growing nostalgia for that early 2000s era of superhero movies, but really, what are we trying to accomplish here? Just another multiversal clusterfuck where we bash a bunch of toys from different franchises together and hope some...
So, my theory on that is not quite. Because what you would do if that was the case is you would jam everyone possible into it. But notice, they left out Spider-Man, they left out She-Hulk, they left out Hulk, they left out Captain Marvel, they left out Photon, Moon Knight, Daredevil. They left out a lot of characters, which is not a guarantee, but it's a possibility that they've really been selective and are going to craft an actually good story with the characters that they have, and they're not just shoehorning everyone in there just because. I know that's a long shot. You don't have to tell me that. But the fact that there are several big omissions, like Spider-Man, shows me that there's a distinct possibility that they're really, really going for a story and not just shoehorning every possible character in. No Nebula, no Gamora, no Star-Lord or whatever. I want Wolverine to be in it, because that makes sense. It's probably a surprise. Or maybe they just haven't finished his contract yet. I don't know. But I'm slightly optimistic. But then again, I am a delusional optimist. We'll see how I feel after Thunderbolts. If Thunderbolts is good, I will be more optimistic. If it sucks, I will be less optimistic. We'll see.
something interesting happens. And I guess that leads me into my main takeaway from this whole thing. It all just feels a little bit desperate. Just one big gimmick, baiting people into watching it for a chance to see their favourite character in action one more time. And the thing is, that's really not what the Avengers movies are supposed to be.
Fuck.
Films like this are supposed to be the culmination of a storyline that's been carefully building up for several years across multiple movies. It's the big release of dramatic tension that you need every so often, but the problem is, there is no dramatic tension in the MCU anymore because nobody seems entirely sure what the fuck's even happening in it. Captain America Brave New World mentioned at one point that the Avengers technically don't even exist anymore, and it took me a moment to realise, oh yeah, he's actually right there. It's been so long since any movie in the franchise actually addressed the state of the Marvel Universe that I'd stopped even thinking about it in those terms anymore. Much like Star Wars can't seem to make any new ideas work, Marvel is now forced to reference itself to generate interest in its new projects, drawing on the past to try to prop up the present. Like an old man with his best days long behind him, all the MCU can really do now is reminisce about happier times, when it was still young and cool and respected, when it was still doing great things, and people flocked to see its latest offerings on their own merits. As I said earlier, the consensus seems to be that a reboot of some kind is on the way for Marvel, and the two upcoming Avengers movies are going to act as kind of closure for the characters and stories that have been driving it since the very beginning. It's the kind of thing the comics industry does from time to time when storylines have become so convoluted and unmanageable that the only thing left to do is wipe the slate clean and start again. And after almost...
And you know what? I'm here for it. You have too many storylines going on. I don't care to follow all of them, all right? Here's what I want, okay? I will tell you guys what I want from these two Avengers movies, okay? I want good stories. I want to connect to characters again. I want to care about the characters. I don't care which characters, because a good writer can make you care about characters. That's why I'm not worried about who they put in there, because it comes down to the writing. Are you going to do something good with them, or are you going to waste it, right? And so if they have good writers, and apparently they do, then maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll actually be a satisfying closure. And the thing is, you're only as good as your last project. So if Thunderbolts is great, if Fantastic Four is great, then we'll probably feel a lot better going into this movie. But those movies have to be good. The movies leading up to it have to be good. And so, yeah, I think the whole Disney Plus thing really crapped the bed for Marvel. It's just way too many storylines going on. I would rather, okay, this will never happen because it costs too much money. I would rather have an Avengers TV show or a large scale Game of Thrones level TV show with lots of different characters, and it's just like the Marvel universe and different storylines. You focus on like 5 characters and they hop in and out with lots of different storylines, all weaving around a central narrative, like one of those big shows like Game of Thrones, where it's just like a whole bunch of characters. You don't see them all every episode, but it's just this massive story that's really, really good, really, really intriguing. Let me know. Is that something you would sign up for? Would you be interested in a Marvel show that is just like a whole bunch of really big Avengers tier characters and moving through like just this massive narrative similar to what you would get on like a Game of Thrones or something like that? I could dream, can I? I know it won't happen, but like, come on. I would... It'd be like the comics. I would do that.
Almost 2 decades of movies and TV shows, hundreds of characters and crazy universe-changing events. The MCU really is sinking under its own weight now. That is an issue, but the sad reality is that its own audience has kind of outgrown it and moved on now. The kids who excitedly flocked to the cinema to watch that first Avengers movie back in 2012 are now adults in their 20s, probably have kids of their own by now, and don't really have the time or the energy to go watch superheroes fight CGI monsters blockbusters. The MCU has been going for so long that it's become a generational franchise, but the problem is, I don't get the impression the younger generations are all that interested in it. It's why most of their attempts to pass on iconic superhero mantles to new characters and actors have ended in failure, because old audiences won't accept them and new audiences aren't interested in the first place. I think Marvel knows this too, which is why they're playing the nostalgia card so hard with this one. Time will tell whether it proves to be a winning hand, but personally, I don't like their odds. Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
But, what I would say is, good. I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I believe in bad movie fatigue. I believe in mediocrity fatigue. If you make mediocre stuff, no one's gonna want to watch it. If you make great stuff, people will watch it. All right, like that's all you have to do. Just make really, really good stuff. Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.5 billion, and so people still care. They just don't care about the crap and not good stuff. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to have more conversations like this, and I will see you guys later. Cheers.